extends to both players and spectators. Significant penalties have been established for persons not complying with zero tolerance expectations, including bans for supporters playing up. We are blessed to have such a great family of sponsors, including our fantastic platinum partners, Tora Staffing and Recruitment, and I'd like to pay a particular shout out to all of our player sponsors, helping our players this year. Josh Pennington, sponsored by Hunter Gourmet Pizza. Ken Harrison, sponsored by Monteith and Palace. Riley Parker, sponsored by NHS Building Supplies. Tom O'Connor, sponsored by Harry Schnitzels. Matt Honery, sponsored by Tidy Trim Newcastle. Ryan Fuller, sponsored by Wayne Brown Building. Zach Verhoeven, sponsored by Monteith and Powers. Sam Esquila, sponsored by Ivy Bookkeeping. Giles Harrison, sponsored by BJS Workwear. Max Bridson, sponsored by Interaction. Kai Hurd, sponsored by iLead. And Harrison Baird, sponsored by Clean Cut Services.
Did you go for 100 and just cut my bag? Hey, mate. Good, buddy. How are you? Yeah, good. That was one of the smart things throwing it around. I'm looking forward to seeing this dismount. Yeah, mate. That's right. What you need. You make it look easier than I did, not have a race on that. This is Matt.
Hey Matt, Michael. How you going?
He doesn't have a knee brace, he's not playing for Lambton, but that's okay.
Yep, that's alright. Yeah, no, actually, it feels pretty good to be honest.
Get some team cars after this, nothing else.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Better. We were here the other week when it was at like 30 something every day when they called off the girls game at half time.
Yeah, of course.
Good for us. You tested. What do you want to do?
All tested. Usually go live 2 minutes before.
She's about 90 seconds away. That'll do for us for running.
Yeah.
Here's the road now. This is Sprout.
Hello, boss.
How you travelling?
Getting there. You doing the jets up?
Well, the assistant's here, mate.
Not doing the Falcons.
Hey?
Not doing the Falcons. Not doing the Falcons.
Not doing the Falcons. I was at Magic Round earlier, but yeah, no, I can't juggle everything. There's only one of me.
It's going to be a good game tonight, too.
Hey?
It'll be a good game tonight. Laura got a good team.
Oh, the Falcons, yeah. What are you doing, Falcons or Jets?
I'm not doing the Jets. Fuck the Jets. Jets don't pay.
They will one day, apparently. They're apparently. I was talking to Sky, who runs Newcastle Rugby League, she's like the right hand of Dev Chitch in there. Yeah. They've been trying to poach her for Mel's old gig. Right. And I said to her, oh, look, now, if I was you personally, I'd probably just stay where you are for the time being and wait and see how the new CEO goes for a little bit before I go offering to jump ship.
I'm still chasing money. 6 months.
I'm paid till about early Feb, I think. And they've told me they're going to pay me February and March next week.
Next payment.
Yeah, that's what they keep telling me. But, there's an international payment. I'm like, who are you getting an international payment from?
Just a proper shit. How's your knee, mate?
Yeah, as good as it can be, eh? Yeah, it's going alright. The surgery's still like 6 weeks away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just because I just blew it up, So yeah, it's still like heaps inflamed. It's the MCL still needs to recover, hence why I'm in the brace. So yeah.
And then you're back to square one.
Yeah, exactly. It's an awkward space because it's like I've got to do stuff in the gym to strengthen it, but then like you climb a mountain just to go back down again. So yeah, it's a bit of head noise, but it's alright.
Good afternoon and welcome to Alder Park. We're here under clear autumn skies on a picturesque afternoon for your round 8 match of the round in the Northern New South Wales men's NPL. And while the table may not suggest it, this one carries some serious weight. It's 12th hosting 10th New Lambton against Valentine. And early in the season, relegation is certainly in the minds of these two clubs. Both clubs desperate to shift their seasons into gear here on Northern New South Wales YouTube channel. For the Golden Eagles, Wednesday night's 1-1 draw with Maitland was more than just their first point of the year, it was a breakthrough. A Valley Brandis volley brought the scoreboard level, but what mattered most was the belief it unlocked, the reward for weeks of grind behind the scenes. Coach Shane Price called it a reward for a long journey and a lot of hard work, and believes his side is finally learning what it takes to compete in the league. Sacrifice, respect and collective effort. Now the challenge is to back it up, and what better stage than here on home turf. Valentine, meanwhile, arrives still finding their feet under new coach Cass Wright, a trailblazer in every sense, becoming the first female head coach in the men's NPL. It's been a turbulent few weeks for the Phoenix, but they've shown flashes of fight, including a couple of late goals in heavy defeats that points to a team with spirit and something to build on. Cass Wright's message, keep going no matter the result. It's a clash of two clubs chasing momentum, one looking to rise from rock bottom, the other trying to steady and reset. I'm Chris McPherson, and joining me this afternoon is current Lambton Jaffers and former Sydney Olympic defender Matt Butner. Matt, great to have you here. How do you see this one shaping up?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris, and yeah, pleasure to be alongside you today. It's going to be a ripper of a game, and yeah, the conditions have turned it on for sure. Good conditions for football here, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think both clubs are desperate to get points today, and you know, both clubs see it as a winnable game, right? You know, respectively 10th and 12th on the ladder. They've had a tough start, both clubs, but for me, it's the home side today. I think they had a good result on Thursday night against Maitland, a 1-1 draw. It's their first point of the season, but a crucial point, as you just mentioned. And I think they might take momentum into today, being a home game and filled with confidence coming back in from that match. Yeah, New Lambton for me.
Well, certainly scored plenty of goals here at home this season. It hasn't been a challenge. It's been stopping them, a job that you've done with, I'd say, a plum throughout your career. So how do you go about, I guess, you know, re-energising and just tightening that defensive unit up as they take on a Valentine side here, who, similar to themselves, haven't had challenges finding goals. They bring back in Carter Smythe, who's been out injured. That's going to be the key piece probably for New Lambton on home turf. Yeah,
I agree, and you're not wrong. Valentine haven't had a problem finding the back of the net. The last couple of weeks, yes, they have, but I think they've scored 14 goals in the first 7 rounds. So they have found the back of the net, but the problem's conceding them. So they've conceded 12 in the last 2 weeks. A big loss last Friday to Charlestown 5-1. I think you got to lean on your senior boys in this game. This is the game that you just got to roll the sleeves up, have a good start, and make sure that you get in the game early. I think you're looking at guys like Pitto for New Lambton to just really drive the younger boys to have a solid start, and yeah, hopefully the home team can apply some pressure early.
It's certainly going to be interesting. On that note, the lineup dropping late for these two sides, and Piddington actually not taking the field today, so that's going to be interesting. So there's a big gap. We know New Lambton, the younger side in the comp, and then yeah, the fact that he's not listed to go out there for them is going to be an impact. The two teams coming onto the field. Let's have a look at how they do line up. Those lineups dropping, as I said, quite late today with some challenges for both teams with Squatty. Let's have a look. Valentine FC, they have Brody Volkeen will be in goal for them. Number 2 there, Japanese import Hiro Akita. They're still without their other Japanese import. FIFA clearance from Mongolia, still not through. Number 5 is Josh Miniarchek. Number 6, Jordan Goose. 7, Harry Lane, their captain. 8, Daniel Miners. 10, Dean Pettit. 11, Carter Smith. 16, Campbell Ross. 17, Liam Ryan. And 23, Cale Graham comes back in from his suspension. For New Lambton in goals, it will be Sam Esquilant in jersey 34. Number 2 is Jagger Holler. Number 3, Kayla Breed. 5, Giles Harrison. 6, Cameron Howard. 7, Zach Verhoeven. 8, Tom O'Connor. 11, Kent Harrison. 15, the import Varley Brandis. 17, Sam Donahoe. And 18, Jackson McClomott. They are, of course, coached by Shane Price. So, I mean, that's going to be, you know, you talk about Piddington. He would have been the avenue you're looking to there. You know, it's an opportunity for others to take their chance, but some experience missing. Yeah, of course, and yeah, it's a big blow for New Lambton, the host side, but yeah, it'll be interesting how the younger boys in that team step up to the role. Like I said, you'd think a home game for New Lambton will work in their favour.
But look, it's going to be interesting. I think the first 15 minutes will be, it'll be a cagey affair, but I believe it'll open up as the game goes on. And based on what I've seen, both sides have conceded plenty of goals this season, so I think we'll expect a fair few goals today, Chris. Yeah,
I think so. I think both sides like to score goals. They both seem to take it, and both quite young sides on the whole. A couple of experienced heads in Valentine's lineup, but they're happy to go forward. They're happy to attack, and it wouldn't surprise me if we end up seeing a 3-2 or a 4-2 here, depending which way it goes. But we'll wait and see how that shapes up as we look at it. One thing we do need to mention off the top, that is a happy 18th birthday to the man in the number 18 jersey, fittingly here for New Lambton, Jackson McClymont. He's one of their leading goal scorers this season with 2 to his name. So I'm sure we're talking about it off air. If you manage to get one and get some points here for New Lambton, it might be a big celebration that might bleed well into Sunday morning. Yeah, I agree with that. And all the best to him today. Well, we're set here. We're about to get underway. Alder Park, match of the round, round 8, as we head into game 3 of the round. New Lambton sitting 12th on the ladder, taking on Valentine, Chris McPherson and Matt Butner, bringing you all the action free on Northern New South Wales' YouTube channel. As that one just a rangefinder for New Lambton early, going across the sideline, and Valentine will take the throw through Harry Lane, the captain. Throws it forward. Contest. Ball in forward for Valentine. Can't be controlled. Ross trying to get forward for it. Valentine fans will be very happy to see that man at the front of attacking, Carter Smith. He was electric early in the season before missing the last handful of games with injury. Threaded through ball, doesn't find a target and trickles over the sideline. Captain tries to shape to go back to the keeper. Goes forward though instead, and it's headed away by Caleb Reid. Reid's found himself on the wrong side of the referees a couple of times this year, already 3 yellow cards during the season. Strong challenge there, but it's pushed across the sideline in the end by Ross. New Lambton waste no time taking the throw. Gu has an air swing. McClymont prods it forward, I should say, and it's put into orbit in the end by Verhoeven, and it'll be a goal kick. I think you used that word cagey before the game, Matt, and certainly both sides just a little edgy here. No real cohesion in the first couple of minutes. Yeah, of course. You got to expect that the first 5 minutes both teams are going to feel each other out, and I think it'll be a game of territory definitely the first 15 minutes, and probably unfortunate not to get a corner there. I thought that was just took a little snicko off the Valentine defender, but Brady will take on this goal kick for Valentine now, see if they can switch up some territory. Gets it forward, it's pushed wide, probably a little too heavy, it is. That rolls over the sideline. One thing Valentine have had this year has been good impact from their bench too, so and again with the heat today, that's something they're going to look at, the depth of the squad. We're going to see the likes of Zach McDougall and Toby Jensen come on. Jensen's been really impactful. He's managed to get on the score sheet a couple of times during the season, so something to watch in the second half, because, and I mean, you'll know this more than anyone, at this time of year, we're still early, warm weather at the start of autumn. It's not easy. I'm sure you probably relish when you see the 7 o'clock kickoff times, 8 o'clock kickoff times, as opposed to the 2 p.m s. Oh yeah, the first 5 rounds. Well, we're at round 8 today, right? And it's still very hot. But those first couple of rounds of the season, very difficult just to kind of manage yourself and make sure that you're not doing, I don't know, too much in the heat, I guess. That's where your impact off the bench is so important. And like you said, Valentine have got that X factor off the bench, and they've been providing. Certainly have. As New Lambton's defence, it's not exactly organised, but it works out okay in the end. They send it back for Escalante's first touch. He sends it deep and long, and it'll come back to the man Hiro Akita. He got a double last time he was involved in the match of the round 2. Phenomenal goals up against Cooks Hill. He knows how to find his way forward at a set piece and use his head, so he'll be a dangerous option if they get corners. And go back to Reid. He gets a little nudge from Campbell Ross. And we'll get the free kick just inside the western sideline here at Alder Park. Don't forget, of course, while you're tuning in, you can tune into every first grade and reserve grade game of the men's and women's Northern New South Wales Football NPL, I should say, on the YouTube. Free. All season, live and free. You can be right amongst it. Keeping up to date with your favourite clubs and all the clubs across the NPL. And I know there's plenty of quality contests as New Lambton get half a chance here. They turn with back to goal. Can't quite execute. Send it wide to Reid. He's going to try and structure something with an attack down the wing. Under pressure. Gets clear to the edge of the 18-yard box. Threads it in but finds the side of the net. The first real chance for either side.
Yeah, positive play from the fullback there, Chris, and yeah, positive signs for the home side there.
Certainly is, as they look to play it out from the back. Akita on the ball. Maybe to take his time, see what presents. Lofts it forward. Bit of a lottery. It's headed forward for New Lambton. It's not quite certain of their path to goal, it seems. Sam Donohoe puts it forward and they poke it forward looking for Verhoeven, but he can't get hold of it and have another goal kick. Just touching on that, obviously, the as I said at the start, this is the third game of round 8. A couple of games last night. Olympic doing the job against Adamstown, so continue to, I guess, push their march towards the top. Olympic with a 4-0 win, and Magic and Western, two of the contenders based on the form we've seen recently. That was an enthralling 2-1 win for Magic at home, a crucial one that sees them, for the moment, ahead of the games later today and the weekend, a 4-point gap at the top of the table. As we go on the attack here. I'll tell you what, we've called Valentine a couple of times this year. I've had Ben Kenarowski alongside me a couple of times. Young Jordan Gu here in the 6 has been really impressive. Been one of their standouts. Just all effort all the time. He's like an Energizer bunny from the opening whistle to the final one. He's one to watch, I think. Ken and I were talking about, and obviously Ken, very well placed to talk about youngsters making an impact after his career.
Of course.
Although he will tell us he's not young anymore, but breaking through very early with the Jets. But just talking about these young players that maybe don't get through into the academies and then come back into these competitions. It's a really good proving ground, and now with the Australian Championship presenting itself as an opportunity for more focus to start seeing young talent coming through and maybe having a different pathway and coming through a little bit later. We talked about Bailey Wells, obviously had those trials with Brisbane, didn't quite get the opportunity, but there's some really talented young players in this league that wouldn't look out of place, and if they can continue to put themselves in the limelight, we may see some of them starting to break through a little bit later on. Yeah,
I agree. I think the platform that the Northern New South Wales competition has laid down now is great, especially for young footballers who are looking for an opportunity. There's a good balance there. I'll let you take this, Chris.
I was going to say New Lambton on the attack here. Nice sliding tackle that breaks up for the corner.
Yeah, important tackle there. And New Lambton corner now, applying some pressure. But getting back to your question, I think really positive for young players in the league. And as you mentioned, the young boy for Valentine. Valentine and New Lambton rely on their youth. So, with the B League coming in this season, it's really exciting for young players to take that opportunity. And
Donohoe with the corner. Lofts it in. Well placed. Can't be controlled, though, and it's sent over the crossbar by Giles Harrison. Yeah, I think between the national second tier, the Australian Championship, all these things that are going to, start to build in now, and there's the opportunity for teams to come forward into it, and it'll develop more and more, I think. But as we know, there's a spot there for a Northern New South Wales side, so another opportunity. It's going to make it a long season for some of those players, but I'm sure, mate, you're only a youngster yourself, and probably even more ironically at the moment with the injury. You can never have too much football. You'd be grabbing any games at the moment with both hands.
Yeah, of course. And look, that was something I had my eyes on as well at the start of the season pre-injury. And I know a lot of boys are at Lambton, but also through the league. It's, like I said, a great opportunity. And, more games. We're young, mate, so it's perfect for these boys to get that kind of level and game time.
Certainly is, as New Lambton come out winning that challenge. Brandis, the import. The rangy looking character is Varley Brandis. Got the equaliser for them midweek against Maitland as Verhoeven beats a couple, beats another, takes a little tumble in the box. Who's the card going to come out for here? I think it might be for Verhoeven in the end. He's going to say simulation.
Wow.
From our position, it looked like, and again, it didn't look like there was contact, but it looked like there certainly could have been contact the way they came together. But the referee right on the spot, so he wouldn't have brought out the yellow card lightly. It's an interesting one, that one. We saw it controversially in the Jets game last week, and I'm still not sure how that worked out. The player still got a yellow card, but they went back for offside, but that's the story for another day.
Yeah, of course. I'm not sure if he was actually looking to get a penalty there, but anyway, the referee's call is final.
Certainly is. Back to those youngsters in a moment as we see an attacking opportunity here, and it'll be another corner. No, a goal kick. It must be, and again for yourself, positioned early in the season when you've got not only lots of other young talent, really quality talent across the league, but the experience of the former A-League guys, and you're blessed to have a couple of them at your club, with Topor and BK there, and then you've got the likes of Roy O'Donovan, Taylor Regan, and a number of others all throughout the league. It just adds that, I guess, that level too, so you're starting to see yourself against that level of talent and understanding what that next step might take.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great balance, actually, the league. You've got, like you said, some really quality players who have played at the top level come down and playing in the league, but you've also got it riddled with young players as well. So you've got this really nice mix, and it's a good level. I think the league's growing again, and I think with this B League as well, it gives coaching staff and players another incentive to try and, perform and win the league. Of course, everyone wants to win the league, but the B League presents just another opportunity for more games and some exposure at the top level, and it's exciting because it's going to be the first season for it. So there's still a lot of questions around it, but I believe it's a Champions League format that they're looking at, and like you said, they've got one club from the Northern New South Wales competition, to enter into that. So yeah, super exciting, and mate, it's a strong league. I think it is getting better, and a great opportunity towards the end of the year to see who can take on that position.
I look forward to when we get to that, I guess, that full iteration. I mean, at the moment, we've seen it in Northern with promotion relegation coming back in, and Bell Swans have hit the ground running. And eventually, that's obviously the goal. So to have that full flowing pathway, like they do in a lot of the European leagues, is going to be a great opportunity for people to be spotted as well. There'll be more attention on it because people will be sitting at the bottom of an A-League ladder looking at those teams in the B League, one, to get talent, but two, to understand who they might be up against in the next season too. Yeah,
100%. And yeah, like you said, I think Bell Swans have surprised many. To be honest, they've had a pretty strong start to this season. And
Zach Verhoeven, a little cheeky here, sitting well outside the corner area. No one's spotted it, so he gets away with it, lofts it in, drops it at the front post though. Didn't help, and they come away with it. Now Valentine, they'll go on the counter-attack, trying to use the pace on the outside. Couldn't quite get there through Dean Pettit, but it's spilt forward. An opportunistic side they certainly are, Valentine, and Liam Ryan was racing forward there, couldn't quite control it. New Lambton still not quite dealt with it. Goes back to Reed, who puts it into the crowd just to be safe.
Yeah, Jagger just getting away with one there. A little breakaway play from Valentine, and that's where they pose a threat, I think, Chris.
And very good on the counter-attack. The counter-attack and the set piece have been where we've seen them in a couple of games. They've got a great goal against Newcastle Olympic on the run. Fighting tooth and nail for the ball. Liam Ryan tries to get a shot away, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough to threaten Escalante. He takes it easily at his ankles and throws it straight out, gets us moving again. Reed under pressure. And they work forward. Reed gets another little bit of contact. It's a nice little battle. Reed and Ryan early.
Yeah, Reed started this game really well.
Liam Ryan just getting a little talking to from the referee. I'd suggest that's not the first time he's given a foul against him, and that's probably the message he's relaying is, I probably don't want to be doing this all day. I might have to look at stronger action if you keep it up. Now a through ball, looking to be out in front of Verhoeven, but well dealt with by the experience of Cale Graham. Verhoeven dropping it back. New Lambton prodding forward towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Miarchik just sees it over the line with a deflection, and we'll have a throw in the way of the Phoenix.
As you said earlier, Chris, it'll be interesting to see how this game unfolds. Valentine with an 8-day turnaround from that Friday night game against Charlestown. A three-day turnaround for New Lambton.
It's been a busy window for the Golden Eagles, and it'll be interesting to see, especially again, you throw that in with the heat, how that turnaround impacts them. I mean, you wouldn't expect to see it in the first half, but in the back end of the second half, heavy legs, all those sorts of things. I'm assuming they probably haven't really trained in between too much. And that's always the balance, isn't it, for Shane Price? I mean, he's got the benefit of a younger side, so you can work them a little bit more. I'm sure, when you're over at Lambton, BK's not exactly doing lots of fitness work.
You'd be surprised, he does extras.
He does extras. He was copying a pacing from Ben Kandarowski last week about the fact that he's wearing the exact same colour as the match officials, and he spends enough time on a line that he's basically trialling out to be an assistant referee, BK. So that was, BK no right of response, of course, though. So, Kanner was just giving him a towel up.
No, of course. Good banter from the old boys.
Yeah, I love it. They do. Headed forward now. That team's still just not really getting the cohesion through their midfield to create much in the way of opportunities early. Brandis does well, wins out. That pass was a hit and a hope and didn't turn out the way they wanted. Miners is the one that threads it, and eventually we come back to Akita. Akita looks like he's got all the time in the world, nice and composed. The Brandis comes across now and pushes Lane's desired pass across the sideline, and they'll have a throw. Harry Lane just wandering down the sideline looking for the throw. We've got a player on the deck, Carter Smith, appealing to the referee, but I don't think anyone outside of potentially even Carter knew how he ended up on the ground there. There was a bunch of players and he came out second best. And they're working it, playing it back. Escalante plays it across now. O'Connor striding down. Jordan Goo might have worn that in the face. Managed to get back, keeps it in play, does well. Plays it into the legs of Reed. I think that might have got the last touch off Goo, but it would have been hard for the assistant referee or referee from their position to call it. So we continue on. Reed now working through traffic, beats one in lane. Now they thread it wide. Verhoeven got an opportunity here if he can find the ball for Donohoe. Cuts inside. Gets a little deflection which doesn't fall in his favour. McClymont though, the birthday boy, picks it off. Now an opportunity, a shot from range. Just a little too heavy from the former Jets Academy player in Harrison. That was looking promising for New Lambton. Yeah, some positive play down the left, and it all started from Reed again in the corner, doing a little manoeuvre. He started the game well, as I said previously, and yeah, the boys up front for New Lambton look energised, and they look like they're happy to dribble the ball and attack at this Valentine back line. So, yeah, beware of the ball on the edge of the box, because, you know, Ken Harrison can hit a shot from there. Certainly can. He's had plenty of experience, played some college football as well as some time at Olympic and the Jets Academy, as I said. So, considering, I guess, probably belies his age when you look at Kent Harrison. You know, he's only 25, but he's played a lot of football. Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the senior boys that they need to rely on today. He needs to be chirpy, and he needs to lead these boys through the 90 minutes if he plays that. But for me, New Lambton, they have like the jack-in-the-box effect. You sometimes they can just pull something out of nothing, and I think he's one of those players that can do that. Just looking through their team list. Ooh, chance there for Valentine. Out of nothing. Didn't come from much. Yeah, looking at their team list, I think only one other player, Verhoeven, the only player over 25 today, without, you know, Pittington, who I believe, if my numbers are right, is knocking on the door of 450 NPL games if he gets through most of the season this year, which is just quite outrageous. The former Jaffers player, obviously. Yeah, it's quite remarkable, actually, and yeah, big ups to him. I think, well, based on my injury now, I think it's really highlighted to me how amazing longevity in football, in any sport, is, to be honest. You know, you think you're an elastic band and you have a great pre-season, and something like that can happen to you. So to pull off numbers like that is exceptional. And you got, yeah, it's quite amazing, actually. Just watching Akita here, very demonstrative. I'll get it out eventually. Easy for me to say. Very demonstrative with his team as to where he wants them. I feel he's not comfortable with how his midfield's shaping up for him to distribute the ball back through them. So it looked like he was signalling to them that he wanted them sort of flatter and wider. I'll keep an eye on that. Ball turns over here, falls nicely for Donohoe. Almost a mix-up at the back there as Lane got himself involved, but it turned out okay in the end, and Valentine will roll it out and play it out. It's like they've got a step of pace, the New Lambton attackers on the Valentine defenders. Yeah, I agree. That was a good chance there for New Lambton. Again, just off the shoulder, and yeah, the wingers for New Lambton are posing a threat in this opening quarter. Pressing defence too, starting to create issues. They're having trouble breaking through that midfield. Ball taken away again. Donohoe's been busy, as has this man, Reed. It just looks... I'm not sure about the jersey pull then. I was about to give him a rap. They played the advantage. The referee, well done there. I was just going to say, he's just that gritty sort of, you know, old school defender, just happy to take the ball on a little bit if he needs to. Just getting the job done sort of character. So yeah, I mean, based on what I've seen today, he doesn't mind a bit of body contact. So I'd suggest the fact that he's got 3 yellow cards already this season might allude to that too. There we go. He's happy to go into a challenge, which, you know, that's what you want from your defensive unit. And we mentioned a name before that you played alongside at the start of the year, and at your Jaffers there, he's got plenty of experience at doing just that and throwing his body in there. In Nikolai Topor-Stanley, doesn't take a backward step. No, not at all. He's an exceptional player. Although if you start talking about his career highlights, you just remind everyone about that goal he scored from near halfway at McDonald Jones Stadium. Every night at training, mate. I think most of the YouTube views on that one, as Canner and I were talking about last week, are Topor just watching it back, just on replay, showing the family. Yeah. Hey, if I hit something like that at that level too, I'd be watching it a lot. To be fair to him, as O'Connor gets hold of this one, he's got plenty of time and space, and he just pulls up and has a look. Looks to thread it out wide on the right. Most of their attack having come down the left so far. They try the other side for Hoven. He's got McClymont in the box if he can find him. They go wide instead. Thread it in. Hits the side of the net. Nervous reaction there from the Valentine defenders for a moment. Just a little off target. Some animated conversations between the captain and the Japanese import, Harry Lane, and Hiro Akita there. As Phil Valentine aren't quite comfortable with what they're delivering at the moment.
It just feels like they haven't settled yet, Valentine. They aren't playing much on the floor at the moment. They're getting it to their fullbacks and, you know, playing direct. They're not really playing through that midfield diamond, as I can see. Struggling to get control of this game.
You certainly feel that New Lambton creating the better of it at the moment. The first couple of minutes as they settled in, it was neither side, but they've created a couple of half chances now, New Lambton. And just said Valentine, the fresher, should be able to try and gain some momentum towards the back end of this half as we hit about the 20-minute mark here. Lofted ball. It's probably optimistic looking for Donohoe. And does pan out that way. Lane sends it back to Akita. He's got plenty of paddock in front of him. What will he like to do? Plays forward. Nice ball for Gu now. Cuts back centre field. Distributes it wide.
That's better from Valentine.
Oniharchik, he's got pace and he uses it, but can't direct the pass. That one's overcooked. Well, he wasn't sure whether he wanted to go all the way to his striker or just to play it through the midfield, continuing. Laid off there. Midfield opens up for the moment for New Lambton. They just waltz through. Cameron Howley had spiders on him. No one wanted a touch of him. They just watched him wander through their midfield, Valentine. They drop it back now, Brandis. He'll go wide. And in the moment in Reed, pushes it out. Donohoe, one-on-one with Lane. Lane breaks up the play. That's a clumsy challenge from Brandis. Referee happy to let things go on. A misdirected through ball finds Reed, and he'll happily play it back to Escalante, and they'll take their time here to reset New Lambton. Just looks, even when that ball sort of comes forward in the attacking third of Valentine, if New Lambton get the ball, they just look a lot more composed. Here they go again. McClymont pushing forward. Well done from the defence there, just to shepherd it for the keeper in Volkeen. But McClymont, Verhoeven, and Donohoe just a constant threat, it feels, at the moment, Matt.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're winning the territory battle, but they're also winning the battle in the midfield at the moment on the ball. Still a little bit cagey, but it just feels like when the New Lambton midfield have the ball, they can waltz out of there quite comfortably and get it to their men up front.
Ball lofted forward here, then appeal for offside, but Smith looked well onside. Takes a shot, deflected. A little fumble, but well dealt with in the end by Escalante. That's the first real shot fired in anger from Valentine. Not sure. That was the percentage play playing it back to the keeper, who wasn't far from the striker. They clear it long. Yeah,
it was ultimately a tame effort, but I think that's where New Lambton can come unstuck. The fullbacks are pretty eager to get up, and here we go.
Ball prodded forward. Pettit, he knows his way to goal, takes a shot across the face, and it will trickle away, and it'll be a goal kick in the end. And probably the third time we've seen a shot from Valentine across the opening 20-odd minutes, and none of them have really had the power to threaten.
Yeah, not quite. But again, as I was saying, I think the opportunities are going to come in between the centre-backs and the full-backs for Valentine. It looks like they've had a handful of opportunities. Not much, but 2 or 3 in the last 10 minutes that have come through that left side of Valentine, just over the top of Jaeger.
It's interesting, isn't it, like looking at it, and it might be a bit of youthful enthusiasm. We talk about the age of this New Lambton side. They're starting to get a bit of territory possession and find their way quite easily forward. And it's easy for the backs to be dragged up by that as well, and everyone just want to be part of that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, again, full of youth, and the fullbacks are young as well for New Lambton. As a fullback myself, it's quite easy to get a little bit excited and tempted to, you know, step up 1 or 2 lines and try to receive that ball.
You know, so go on the attack. Gu feeds it through. Liam Ryan. What can he create up against Reed here? Plays it back. Gu again. New Lambton converge, and Donohoe just prods it over the line. Good attacking territory now for the Phoenix. Lane, the captain. Gu rockets it back to Akita. He wears it on the chest. Lofts it forward, looking to split the centre backs, but Smith just a step offside. And Carter Smith's a great example. He played 3 games at the start of the year, got 3 goals, then got injured. So he certainly knows his way towards the back of the net if he can get a bit of run. His first game back from injury today. That hamstring keeping him out for 4 games, so they'll be happy to have him back, and it does mean that they've got the benefit of Scott Pettit coming off the bench, which is a nice bit of experience to have as well when we talk about, you know, depth on the squad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I had the pleasure of playing with Scotty last year, and yeah, he's a great player, good experience in the league, and just see how this unfolds.
Like a bit of handball there, but anyway, it's dealt with for the time being. Headed away and now seen clear by Miners.
Yeah, that's an experienced player you want to lean on, especially in the second half when things start to open up a little bit. Scotty Pettit will be influential off the bench for Valentine, no doubt.
Well, he has been starting most of the games, but obviously with Smith coming in as their first choice striker, they had to find a bit of a reshuffle, as well as Graham coming back. So again, you know, we've seen a few of the sides in the league using that experience. Azuri do it really well with Reen Ferguson, and there's other sides that are doing it as well. We saw Olympic last week against your side managed to wheel out Roy O'Donovan off the bench. That's not too bad, but I think that's more through injury and recovery. Although Roy looked much more comfortable running than he did walking, which is a bizarre thing. But anyway, that might just be the best of age, as well as the back giving him a bit of dramas.
Yeah, of course. No, it's a great thing when you're on the field and you know you've got boys coming off the bench that can do an impact and a job for you, especially on the back end of games when you're hanging in there when the contest is tight and you've got boys that are reliable and can do a job for you.
Set piece here for Valentine. Can they strike the first blow against the run of play? Watch for Akita at the back post here. Dangerous. Smith gets up, but beautifully taken. Esquilart wouldn't have looked out of place at the top of the Sydney Swans forward line with that grab. And all of a sudden they go straight on the attack, down the left flank.
Great release.
Harrison cuts inside, looking for teammates, and they converge. McClymont, ball gets spat out with a deflection from Miners, and Akita takes it away. Happy just to wait and see what the defence want to push at him. Miners is there. Puts it down, brought down by Brandis, but it's going to be a judged handball. That's one of those tough ones. Didn't really have time to react, but clearly got his hand.
I agree. I'm liking the composure from Akita at the back for Valentine. He's got a level head on him, you can tell, and he's trying to keep the ball as much as possible, and yeah, trying to retain possession, which they've probably had few of, you know, at the start of this game for sure. So him playing out from the back, you can see him now animated and just trying to calm the boys down.
It's certainly been a good pickup, and I mean, it's what you want when you come to visa players, right? It can be a bit of a lottery sometimes. We know he's played a bit in the Queensland NPL, played for Logan Lightning, I think they are, and he's played in the lower tiers over in Japan, so plenty of experience considering he's only 25. But yeah, again, it's what you want. You just want a bit of composure is quite often the key. It's not necessarily about moments of brilliance all the time from your visa players. You want them to step up as the senior players, whether their age or not, but their level of probably remuneration, as well as their I guess what you're bringing them in for in terms of their experience is what you're leaning on. Yeah,
I agree. Handy pick-up for Valentine this season.
Been a nice little influx, actually. Lambton have got your own Japanese import on that note. So
yeah, Kirihara, he's an impressive player, tidy. You know, classic Japanese football, very tidy with his feet, very nimble, very fast, exceptional with the ball at his feet. We just need some more goals out of him, Chris.
That's probably a squad as a whole without wanting to take a drive-by on your whole team, mates. It's easy to say when you're not out there, isn't it?
Of course.
We talked about it before. The defence has been impressive for the Jaffas this year, but the attack just not quite clicking yet. It'll happen. There's plenty of talent there. We know that. So there's all of a sudden now Pettit attacking on the outside of the box, and referee says last touch comes off Valentine, and we will have a goal kick again for Esquilart. Despite each side just sort of having a little flow at different points here, you still feel there's moments of these teams just trying to feel each other out, work out where their avenues are coming from, and it'll be interesting to see who maybe tries to pull that trigger a little as we get into the fatigue late in this half as we continue on. Almost half an hour gone now.
Yeah, I've no doubt it'll open up in the second half. Both teams, pretty balanced game at the moment. I think it's settled. Valentine in the last 5-10 minutes have definitely worked their way into the game again.
Disconnect there, and all of a sudden played back. Harrison dropping it all the way deep. Brandis sitting back into that hole between the centre backs and distributing. O'Connor to his centre back partner in Harrison. He's got a bit of space in front of him. He takes it on, threads it forward, looking for Kent Harrison. Just a little too heavy in the end and falls away. Valentine. Now Akita, they offer him some space and he's happy to take it. Lane gets a little nudge from Reed from his effort for his efforts. Goo. Yeah, animation coming back the other way now from New Lambton. You can hear their captain, Kent Harrison, just issuing some barking orders, taking on that seniority role. As we said, one of the older players at 25. He's got the captain's armband. Now they work it back out again. All lobbed forward again, looking for Harrison. Akita, though, positions his body in the right spot, reads the bounce, the ball, lays it off for Graham. Miniarchik now. Forward for Ross. Maybe just to rotate it around. Now driven forward, Valentine. Reed happy to be watchful and see it across the sideline. Tell you what, we were talking about young players earlier, Matt. You wouldn't believe, having seen what Caleb Reed's delivered, he's just 18. Like, he looks very composed for a youngster of just 18. I thought I'd double check that then when I saw him come across here. I was like, he's got a bit of a baby face. And sure enough, it all stacks up. But yeah, looking very good for 18. So he'll be a name to watch, I think, over the next few years. Yeah, 100%. And no doubt playing first grade football, you're just going to, get exposed to the challenge and you grow as a footballer, playing more games, of course. And a great club to do it as well. He's going to get opportunities here. And again, he's looked composed in this opening 35 minutes or so. Certainly has. Here he is on the ball now. What can he do? He decides to take it on down the sideline, holding the ball up against two defenders. Almost gets it down to Donohoe. Tries to present an option for him. Pushes forward Reed. Donohoe with some nice footwork. Threads it into the box for Hoven. McClymont. Hoven peels back, turns around. Looks to get into the box. Oh, just seen almost clear. Not quite dealt with yet. And Lane gets it away. Some appeals from the fans down in line with that there might have been something untoward, possibly a handball, but that's looking promising from New Lambton. Yeah, it's better football and, a couple little 1-2s, little body feints, nice movement in the box as well. Good little combinations. It's good football. All of a sudden now Goo threads it forward, looking for Ryan. He's got time and space out there if he can keep it in. He does that. Reed tracking back. Ryan crosses it into the box, gets to the back post. Pettit, they can't quite deal with it. Now Brandis. He hoofs it forward, looking for any sort of clear space and sees it over the sideline. It's end-to-end football. All of a sudden, it's starting to open up. Yeah, for sure. That was a great ball from Liam Ryan there. Nice right foot whipping it into the box. And again, a decent chance. Probably didn't get the contact that they wanted on it, but it's starting to open up a little bit as we head towards the half-time. Yeah, I'm sure Dean Pettit would have loved to have that again. He's a pretty handy finisher at the best of times. Just didn't get the ball to sit in the way he would have liked. Reed now. And Ryan having a little battle, and Reed just calm as you like. Prods it over the sideline. And Valentine will continue to turn the screws and go on the attack here. Campbell Ross dispossessed. O'Connor, Brandis, Donohoe. We've seen him in close quarters. He's got some very deft touch. O'Connor again. Little space opens up and he just slices through the midfield. That's probably a concern if you're a Valentine fan. That's not the first time that's happened, where all of a sudden a lot of players hang back and the New Lambton players are happy just to waltz forward. Miniarchik will now take the throw and pushes it forward, looking for Miners. Can't get him. Brandis taps it downfield. Miniarchik picks it off. Now Pettit. Miners with a little tap on. Looking Pettit, that is, of course, Dean, as we discussed before. Scott Pettit on the bench for Valentine today. Here he is again. Cuts infield between two players. Prods it forward. The flag does go up late. But again, just starting to show those gaps you were talking about before, Matt, where they're just picking apart the holes between either the centre-backs or outside the centre-backs, inside the full-backs. Yeah, I think that's where Valentine are going to get joy, and you feel as though the game's just dialed up another 10% in this last 5 minutes or so as we're getting closer to half-time. They're the opportunities that Valentine are going to continue to expose. So, as I said, matched around a few weeks ago on the Saturday night games. They got a goal against the run of play, just picking the gap and a bit of a bounce, and I think it was actually Ryan that capitalised the score. against Olympic. It wasn't enough for them to take points that day, but it just showed that they are so dangerous on that counter-attacking threat, especially with Ross and Ryan and their pace. And then they've got a big target there as well in Smith, so they've got some options. The other throw, they faked it. I'm not quite sure what that was. It looked like something you might see on the dance floor at Argyle House. I nearly called it something else then, and I would have really been showing my age. And all of a sudden, Ross getting forward. Well broken up in the end. Giles Harrison. Reid does well to keep it in. No, he doesn't. Yeah, it would have really shown my age if I started rolling out the old name for that place, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely.
All of a sudden, Valentine trying to turn things late in this half. I feel if either side could get a goal, there would be a huge momentum shift heading into the break. Jordan Goo happy just to give away a needless little foul there and give their team a chance to retreat and reset. Reid lays it off for O'Connor. O'Connor pushed it across the face, finds Harrison. And he goes wide for Holler. Brandis against Campbell Ross. Campbell Ross giving away plenty of size in that battle. O'Connor now strides downfield, lofts it over the top. Verhoeven. Volkeen has to come out of his box. Didn't get hold of it as he might have liked. Brandis now, will he take a shot? No, he pulls up and settles it down, and then when he Archie slides in and breaks up the play. I feel like for 30 seconds at a time, either side looks imminent like they're going to score a goal, and then all of a sudden it'll be the other team. It's really toing and froing, seesawing here at Alder Park.
Yeah, definitely. You'd say New Lambton were probably the stronger side coming out of the gates. The first 5 minutes was cagey. New Lambton took some control, but now it's definitely balanced out again, and it is a little bit of end-to-end. Both teams, looking to get a goal just before heading into the sheds. You feel like something could present itself any minute now.
You talk about end-to-end football, and normally you see, one team play through, have an opportunity in the other team, but these guys are just going counter-attack for counter-attack at the moment, trying to find that either through ball or the lofted pass to either around or over the opposition defence. And so we really are seeing, in a 2-minute period, you might see the ball go the length 3 or 4 times. See Valentine now taking the throw into the final 10 minutes of this first stanza. Northern New South Wales men's NPL round 8 match of the round. 10th place Valentine on the road to 12th place New Lambton here at Alder Park. Remembering you can tune into all of the men's and women's first and reserve grade NPL matches throughout the season, live and free on the Northern New South Wales YouTube channel. Chris McPherson and Matt Buton are bringing you all the action today. Absolute perler of an afternoon here in New Lambton as Donahoe on the ball. Pushes it forward, McClymont prods it down. No one there to retrieve it, and will go across the sideline for a throw. Valentine just happy to sit and wait with their captain Harry Lane. He decides to go long. Looking for Smith. He gets a little nudge on it. Ross puts it infield. Goo advancing forward. Pushes it out wide in front of Pettit. He's got a bit of space. He's going to take it on outside of Holler. Gets inside the 18-yard box. Cuts back. Takes a shot. Beats the keeper. A little parry in the end from Sam Escalante. Sees it away for a corner. That was another good opportunity for Pettit. He probably would have, again, liked to just get a little bit more on that.
Yeah, I agree. That was a good sweeping play there, right to left for Valentine. That's where they pose a threat. They move that ball, get it out of their feet, and give it to their strike men up front. And as you said, Pettit probably would have wanted to strike that a little bit sweeter, but that's probably their best chance of the half for Valentine.
Now Pettit, both arms aloft, strikes it from the corner. Slices underneath that, had some nice backspin on it, but it was seen away by New Lambton. Valentine take a shot from range. That's not really going to threaten anyone. I don't think it even entered the 6-yard box in the end. Escalante now happy to turn and play it out. Valentine still retreating, not realising that New Lambton are getting on with things. Oh, a little misstep there. Harrison retreating back. Sliding effort from Smith. Harrison manages to keep it in the field of play, and they continue on. Ends up down with the other Harrison in Kent Harrison, and then New Lambton prod it forward over the halfway. Goo will retrieve it and bring it back. Apologies, that's not Goo, that's Akita. Akita lofts it forward, looking for Campbell Ross, but again, Escalante out there, snaps it up. Happy Going to take his time here, just work out what's happening before he takes it on. And play it out from the back through O'Connor. Top line for Valentine, still retreating. He gives it off to Reed. Now they go wide. Giles Harrison. Verhoeven. I'm going to play it down on the right. Hollert gets some space. I'm not quite sure. I think he was caught half between a through ball and a shot there, and it didn't really threaten anything, and it'll trickle away across the byline, and Valentine will have a goal kick.
Yeah, just a missed pass there from Jag. He hasn't had many opportunities today, unfortunately, but don't be surprised. Second half, he definitely has a bit of X factor, a bit of speed, and a good tank. So he'll get through the 90 minutes, and you see these flanks start to open up, and Valentine and New Lambton to try and expose each other through the width of this pitch at Outer Park.
Pettit chips it forward, looking for Ross. Again, Escalante alert, races off his line and picks it up.
And New Lambton feel comfortable going out the left with Tommy O'Connor. I feel like he's stepped into a senior role, definitely today as well. He's notched up a fair few first-grade games now, and he's really looking composed in that centre-back role. He does play midfield when they have the staff, but yeah, he's really comfortable on the ball, controlling the back line for New Lambton.
Solid job so far. This is you talk about Hollett not getting any opportunities. The ball starts finding him. And Connor now, he's offered some space and unsurprisingly takes it on. Brandis lays it off, misdirected, ends up finding Akita instead. Now Valentine a bit of an overload on this right side. They thread it through. That's a nice ball. Ryan, can he finish? Over the crossbar. Great opportunity. Not too far away from Liam Ryan. But again, all for nothing, and the score remains 0-0 here deep in the first half at Alder Park.
Yeah, rip a chance there. And again, good play down the right side. Tommy O'Connor stepping in with the ball for New Lambton, a turnover, and they just exposed that gap in between the fullback and the centre-back. As I said previously, a nice little through ball, and he's probably disappointed not to put that on target because he's a chance of scoring there. It's a great chance for Valentine.
You feel they've had the best of the chances probably in the last 5 to 10. Pettit with a couple, and now that one for Ryan. And when they go back to the sheds with Cass Wright, I'm sure she'll be talking about making sure they do take their opportunities, because it really appears at this stage that it could come down to 1 or 2 taking opportunities. Akita's going to get a talking to here, and the referee may go to his pocket. Hand signal looked like a first and final warning.
The boys behind the fence aren't happy with that one.
Yeah. They're wanting to loop back to the simulation yellow card. They're not happy about it. Some armchair referees here, just you know, a bit of constructive criticism for the match officials.
Yeah, of course.
It's not an easy job. They do a very good job at this level. And Kent Harrison to take it, drives it in, little chip over the top. That would have been some magic Harrison to Harrison if it had have gone in. I'm not even sure how you described that one. It wasn't.
I was inventive, but yeah. I mean, if someone got on the end of that, it would have been spectacular.
I wonder if that's how it was actually drawn up or not. I don't think so somehow. In the meantime, Ryan sends it back to Graham. Happy to work wide on the left through Winiarczyk. Right on the fourth officially should have the board up momentarily for the added time. Some frustration, a little mix up here. Escalante gets away with it. That would have been heart and mouth stuff on the New Lambton bench, and probably in the New Lambton goals too. Akita and Valentine create something here. That one a little offline. Smith had jumped the gun on the run. Miners, that's not the clearance he was quite looking for. Verhoeven throws himself in. I'm not sure he knew where the ball was. Akita dispossessed. McClymont, Verhoeven has it taken away by his opposite number in lane. Reed chips it forward. Flag stays down. Verhoeven working one-on-one against Akita, crosses it into the box, looking for the back post, and the run a little late from Howard in the end, and Valentine gets away and gets them moving again. Pettit down the left, Winiarchik threads it now. Smith, he's going to have options in Ryan and Ross. Which way does he go? He plays to the left to Ross. Ross gets the edge of the 18-yard box, crosses it to the back post looking for Ryan. He drops it down. Smith with a finish. He gets it off the outside of the boot and hits the post. And they finish. Does the flag stay down? It does. And Josh Winiarchik gets the opening goal. It had to be close, but the assistant referee in perfect position. And Valentine, as we head towards half-time, lead 1-0.
Yeah, Chris, well-constructed goal from Valentine there, and they went down the left side. Again, that sweeping play. You get balls with players who could create that. A ball comes in through the cross. Unfortunate to get the goal off the first one off the bar, and the reaction was brilliant. 1-0 Valentine, and you could feel it brewing in the last 5 minutes. They were definitely looking on top.
Yeah, when Carter Smith hit that, I thought he'd absolutely cooked it. He sliced it off the outside of the boot, but it just sat there, and it talks about, that continual pressure, that continual pushing up, the Johnny-on-the-spot mentality. And their fullback was there and managed to convert. Well, that's a momentum shifter as we head towards half-time here at Alder Park. New Lambton now will push forward, all guns blazing, you'd think. They've got to be careful not to get caught on the counter here. Donohoe dispossessed. That's lazy defending from Brandis, and that'll be another yellow card. Much to the amusement of the fans who are left here. Brandis voicing his displeasure. But that's not going to change anything. If you do it a little bit too vehemently, it might change the colour of the cards, about all you're going to get. Brandis, having played in the US, of coming across from Germany originally. Might be a little different to the officiating he's used to, but that seemed pretty clear cut. It was cynical. And there's that man there, Brandis, pulls it forward for Verhoeven. And that will be half-time here. And at the break, it is Valentine with that late goal, leading 1-0. Matt, if you're the two coaches here, what are you taking away from that? What's the synopsis of the half-time chats?
Yeah, look, it was a good battle, a great battle. Valentine getting the better in that last 15 minutes or so and converting to make it 1-0. I think Cass will be pleased with the Valentine boys heading into half-time. New Lambton, they got to take their chances and be a little bit more clinical up front and start to control the game a little bit now. Second half will have massive riding on it, no doubt. Fatigue will come in. You got boys off the bench to make an impact.
It'll be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. with local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good. yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good.
Welcome back to Alder Park. It's halftime here in the round.
I agree, and matter of execution for both clubs. They're getting in good areas. It started to open up as the half went on, and Valentine pounced on their opportunity towards the end. Quick thinking, the ball bouncing off the frame of the goal, and to make it 1-0. They definitely finished the half the stronger side, and it's going to be interesting how they come out and start this second half. New Lambton, of course, searching for their first win, and it's an important game for both clubs, so no doubt Cass would have been buzzing with that first half performance, and to get a goal just before half time, like, that is so important, and to take that into the second half will give all the boys confidence.
Well, Valentine had got themselves to that point. They'd started to create opportunities. They started much the slower, which is surprising. We talked about the long break, but again, that can be a momentum piece. New Lambton having played sort of 3 games in 8 or 9 days. Well, this is being the third of their games after the catch-up game as well, so certainly been a busy schedule for the young Eagles side. They did get their first point midweek against Maitland. But both sides just looking for that final step of execution. A few opportunities. Plenty more to come undoubtedly in the next 45. Here's that goal scorer now, Winiarchik with the throw. It's a bit of a cliche, Matt, but you feel the next goal's going to be a real swing in this. If Valentine could get to a 2-goal lead, it's going to be a little bit of probably PTSD for New Lambton after the season they've had, whereas if they can get back level, all of a sudden the game's well and truly alive. Yeah, I agree. And that's why it's so important for New Lambton to come out of the gate strong here and try to get one early, right? Try to get this game back level and square. And then I have no doubt it's going to open up in this last half an hour of football. Agricultural clearance there from Holler. Matt Buettner just trying out in the commentary position for goalkeeping with that handling. That was beautiful, mate. Yeah, another throw going the way of Valentine in the attacking third here. Winiarchik. He's got Pettit presenting at the front. You can hear that wind starting to pick up in the effects microphone. It's certainly not windy, but it's starting to gust a little. Now Winiarchik prods it forward. Not cleared. Gu wins out. Brandis, Ryan. Forceful challenges going both ways. The referee happy to let them play. I don't mind that. We talked about this last week with Ben Kanarowski. It seems to be a bit of an edict in the Northern New South Wales competition to, as much as you can, if players are giving as good as they're getting, just let them keep going, which, at the end of the day, that's what we're here to see, isn't it, football? Well, yeah, it's good refereeing, right? Like, you can give and take and nothing malice at all. It's a good contest, and you just got to play on there, right? And he's officiated this game really well so far. Been consistent with it, that's for sure, and that's the first word you want out of any refereeing description is consistency. So now at the back is Giles Harrison. O'Connor combining there, the centre backs. That's a little pivot as Valentine pushing up hard. Harrison to Harrison to Harrison. That's a mouthful. Lucky we're not going on the other side with both Pettits on, otherwise it'd be very confusing. A climb on the birthday boy. Out-muscled is he by Graham? No, he's not. It falls nicely for Hoban. Seen off the line in the end by Lane. That was a last-ditch piece of defence from Valentine. I thought it was going to be time for the birthday boy to celebrate as he assisted a goal, but instead we're going the other way for a moment. O'Connor clears it away, goes over the sideline just past half. Again, it might be a common theme for the second half, end-to-end football, and again, New Lambton very close there to equalising 1-1. They've come out the gate strong. Again, expect a little cagey affair this first 5 minutes, a bit of body contact in the middle of the pitch. Pettit slicing through, gets a little nudge and that'll be a free kick. I was going to say, is the referee going to go to his pocket? Here he is. Another yellow card, a third yellow card, this time for Cam Howard. That's Howard's second yellow of the season. I was going to say, just before that, we saw one of the Valentine players go for a header, and then he ducked at the last second, and Valley Brandis was standing behind him and just wore it in the face. So we've had 47 minutes of play and 2 blokes wearing a football in the face. So occupational hazard. Striking range, Chris? Probably is for Smith if he can collect it with his full power. He's got some certainly a rate of knots if he can get the full tempo. I just don't know how healthy that hamstring is. You can see the tape just sort of sitting just below his shorts on the right leg.
I guess we'll find out very shortly.
Well, I don't mind if he backs himself to take a strike here, especially when they've got the advantage at the moment. They're peeling in. He hit it well enough. Probably not as much power as he would have liked. Second effort, parried away. Does the flag stay down? It does. Nikita onside, they say. Pettit, nice little bit of footwork. Puts it into the box. Oh my goodness. The back heel and then a spill from Escalante. It'll be a corner. That had a bit of everything, and I'm not quite sure how to best capture it in one sentence.
Yeah, look, little flick on there just outside of the 6-yard box, and I think it had a bit of a spin there, which troubled the keeper. Just had to parry it out for a corner. Valentine looking positive.
It looked like it just sort of came off the outside of Ryan's boot. I wonder if he didn't have time to maybe take it on the other boot and turn. He wasn't really under a lot of pressure, but again, it's, you know, everything happening at a rate of knots when you're in there. Pettit now with the corner. Akita a threat at the back. They get up for Smith. Heads it over the crossbar. Another opportunity for Valentine, just a little off target. Escalante breathes a sigh of relief.
The deliveries have been dangerous off the corners for Valentine.
They have been. They've been there and thereabouts, especially this gusting, when it just makes it hard to really read as a defender where it's going to sit. Pettit's got that lovely corner delivery where he doesn't really loft it up as much as you might. He's got that sort of backspin on it, so it just slices reasonably flat through the air, which is just gives you less time to make a decision as a defender, less time to think. Escalante plays it out now. O'Connor has been solid at the back for the Golden Eagles. Lofts this forward. He probably would have liked that to go a little wider. I think he was looking for Reed. Falkeen sends it down for Pettit. He turns it over though. Donahoe looking at options. He's got Verhoeven inside. Doesn't quite plan out for him, but beats him and Gu. For the time being, William Ryan will turn to the outside. Thinks about trying to put the afterburners on, but realises he can't get around hole it. Didn't have enough space nor pace. Ross, a misdirected pass, but it worked out okay in the end. They get away with that one. Good sliding effort there, Giles Harrison, and he sends it onto the bowling greens here at Alder Park. There's a few punters in there at Alder Park Bowling Club. They've got this figured out. They're in by the bowling green and wandering in and out, getting beers on tap from the club.
It's a great afternoon for NPL football.
Certainly is. So there's not many places you'd rather be on a Saturday afternoon like this, and if you're an absolute football aficionado, you can be here and then you can just wander just down the road to see your club play this afternoon. Lambton Jaffers playing at 4:30, just enough time to duck down, mate.
Yeah, it worked out really well for my sake, and yeah, we'll see how this one plays out, and then we've got another cracker just down the road.
Certainly do. Shot from range, doesn't threaten from lane. Escalante watchful, seeing it over the bar. And of course, if you are wanting to keep up to date with the rest of the NPL for this round, you can see all the games live and free, both first and reserve grade, on the Northern New South Wales YouTube channel. Other games this round, as we said, we've got Edgeworth and Cooks Hill at 4 o'clock this afternoon from Jack McLaughlin. That's second taking on 6th. You've also got 8th versus 9th, Lambton and Bell Swans, or 9th versus 8th as you will, which will be a key clash for both those sides. Then tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, Azuri and Maitland. Hard to believe that's 3rd versus 11th.
Yeah,
Maitland not off to the best start this season, similar to, I think both them and Lambton would be quite surprising if you said to most people that, well, a third of the way through the season they were sitting, well outside that top 5.
Yeah, of course, and as you mentioned, a third of the way through the season, it's already gone so quickly. We don't have the luxury of, competitions such as Sydney NPL, Melbourne NPL that have 30-round seasons. It's a quick season with 22 games, so you're at that point of the season now where you really want to start picking up points and momentum, because it starts to get away from you quite quickly, and it also starts to separate the top of the ladder with the bottom, as we can already see.
Yeah, we've certainly seen that at the moment. I mean, when you have a look at those teams there now, both Bell Swans and Lambton, if we use them as the example, or Maitland, another point down, they're 7 points adrift of 5th with Western. I mean, Western have, played an extra game to Lambton at the moment, as we see all of a sudden a chance here. Ryan can't quite control it. Hollett's going to have to be careful there. Pushed over the bar again, just off target from Campbell Ross. I'll tell you what, Jagger Hollett treading a fine line there, hanging onto the jersey inside the box. That could have quickly come awry if the player had lost their footing. We're going to see a change here, and unsurprisingly, in his first game back from a hamstring injury, they're going to take the safe route with Carter Smith. And we'll have a look at who comes on it. Might be Jensen coming onto the top of attack, I would suggest. We'll have a look in a moment and we can get a number on him, and couldn't really catch the fourth official's board. Let's wait and get a number on the player. In the meantime, we keep moving forward. It is Toby Jensen. As I said, he's provided good impact and cover from their bench so far this season. Put himself on the score sheet a couple of times. Actually, he's equal leading goal scorer with Hiro Akita and Carter Smith. 3 goals to his name. Not bad for impact from the bench. Now Holler ranging forward. Plays it off. McClymont feeds it, looking for Verhoeven. Verhoeven with a chance. Can't quite get it past the leg. Can he on the second attempt off the crossbar? New Lambton can't buy any luck today. You wouldn't read about it, Matt.
No. How did that stay out?
How did it stay out? How did Brody Volkeen make his way back to retrieve it off the crossbar? I've got a lot of questions. But in the meantime, the threat hasn't been completely dealt with. Howard will get to the edge of the 18-yard box. Moving it around, working up against the opposition captain in lane, and earns his team a corner. I'm still scratching my head about that. Verhoeven, I don't know how he managed to get hold of the ball and get past the last defender. He looked beaten all ends up with the slide. Came away with it. And then just couldn't quite get it away. Comes off the crossbar on the parry. Then he gets ahead to it. Oh, it's seen everything.
Yeah. And it's been the theme of the game, right? End-to-end football. Valentine having a chance only a couple minutes earlier.
Lofted in by Kent Harrison. Reed jumped optimistically. Giles Harrison chips it forward and lands it on the roof of the net. Yeah, I think young Caleb Reed might have thought he was about 3 foot taller than he is there when he jumped up for that one. He was well clear, but points for trying. And it continues to threaten both sides well and truly in this one. Valentine leading 1-0 early in the second half here at Alder Park. Chris McPherson and Matt Buettner bringing you all the action. And it's certainly not for the faint-hearted so far, Matt. There's been lots of half chances, full-blooded chances, and lots of interesting bounces and spins and slices of the football.
Yeah, definitely. And despite the scoreline, plenty of opportunities coming from both ends. A very open game, and it looks like it's continuing in that fashion.
Certainly does. It's interesting. It feels open at each end, but then when they get to these midfield battles, there's no quarter given. It's got a bit of everything there. And then we see all of a sudden here's Jensen with his first chance, lofts it forward. That's a nice ball for Pettit. What can he do? Can he finish? Dean Pettit inside the 18-yard box, trying to work it around and create an opportunity. Deflected by Holett. That's good defence. Gets his body in the way. Pettit now. Can he keep it in? No, he can't. Great one-on-one work there by Jagger Holett.
Yeah, job done for Jagger. And I thought Pettit was going to pull the trigger on his left foot there. Decided to elect to go onto his right foot, the trusty right foot. And it just got denied. Maybe missed the opportunity once it come to him.
We saw him on a beautiful first touch finish with his left a couple of weeks ago against Cooks Hill at Fernley Doors. I just need to back himself there. He's an immaculate finisher when he gets himself in form. Sliding tackle from Muniarchik. The last touch comes off Cameron Howard, says the referee. You can see just the amount of effort going into this. This means a lot for both sides. They know how important this is, as we touched on, and we keep labouring the point that it is a third of the way through the season. You know, and not only is it talking about chasing finals spots, but it's talking about trying to push yourself away from relegation. New Lambton will know that too well. They're sitting on 1 competition point. They're already starting to find themselves adrift of other teams in front of them, and Valentine one of those teams. So, you know, not only is it about the points they take today, but it's about the points they don't give up.
Yeah, they're 100% right, Chris, and I don't think either side will be happy with a draw. Like 3 points is necessary for either club, and yeah, look, we're getting deeper into the season. I know it's only round 8, but it moves quickly, and both teams need to start finding points, and these are the games that they're available.
Certainly are. We're talking about extra football. The extra football you don't want is to get drawn into either automatic relegation or relegation playoffs, right? So we saw Adamstown go through that last year to the death, and I know that the Rosebuds are very keen to avoid that again, and they've got off to, after probably a sluggish round 1, you'd say, against that big loss to Bell Swans, they've gotten moving with their season and find themselves actually knocking on the door of the top 5, which not many predicted. These two sides, though, firmly in the crosshairs when it comes to those automatic and playoff berths. We've got a long season ahead of us. A little jersey tug there. The referee's just watchful, seeing where it eventuates, and says, look, You're both giving it, so we'll just have a throw in for Valentine. So Lane with the throw.
Yeah, get well adjudicated, and I think expect a little bit more of that hustle and bustle, shirt pulling, a little bit more competitive as this game goes on. Again, this game's important for both clubs. Might get a little bit fiery as we head into the deeper into the second half.
That's it, between the two of them. Just one win from 14 games so far to open the season. That's not the clearance that Escalante would have quite wanted. It's going to sit up nicely in the end for Pettit. And he's going to take his time. Does well to bisect two defenders. Beats another with a deft little touch. Feeds it forward for Ross. Reed again, just hustling. Sorry, that was Ryan that he's taken it away from. Puts it forward. Trying to rely on Verhoeven's pace.
We're just on that, Chris, as well. One win in 14 games between both of these clubs, and a combined of 47 goals conceded, which is not an amazing stat. It's obviously been an issue towards the back end.
Jensen striding away, tries to feed it forward for Pettit.
With both teams, yeah. So leaking goals has been an issue for both clubs in the 2025 campaign. And, yeah, Valentine the last 2 weeks, obviously some internal issues and reshuffles, of course. And 12 goals conceded. So they're keeping a clean sheet at the moment, which Cass would be absolutely buzzing about.
I'm just trying to think back through Valentine's results. I'm not sure. I think they've only had the one clean sheet so far this year, which was that 4-0 win against Cooks Hill, and they turned the screws late to get that done. As we see Ryan trying to get to the outside. He's working back. Now they play it forward. McClymont, the birthday boy, turning 18 today, tries to push it forward for his captain in Kent Harrison, but it's turned over. Daniel Miners, another one of those players, when we talked about the key of experience, he's one that's certainly got plenty of it, playing through the midfield here for Valentine.
We also knew Lambton have got goals in them as well. You wind it back a couple of weeks ago where they took on the league leaders here and lost 5-3, 3 goals against the current champions. So they can find the back of the net, and they've got the players to do so. Let's see if they can knock on the door here with Ken Harrison.
Certainly Ken Harrison gets a little nudge, and he plays the advantage, the referee. The arm's still up. Holert tries to cross it in. A little parry again. A couple of nervous moments, a couple of times from the keepers so far today. Not as clean as they might have liked, and they'll now have a corner. And I just have to feel that their German import here, Vali Brandes, has to be the target. He's a tall, rangy man. He'll sit at the back post here. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They've got the two imports out there, the German import, and they go to the Canadian import, who we'll touch on in a minute, Verhoeven. He's been dangerous. Pushed it into the box, and it's seen away for another corner. Verhoeven, an interesting one, a Canadian import, eligible for Fiji, though, and Fiji had made some approaches previously to him. Wouldn't that be a story if we had someone playing in World Cup qualifying straight out of the competition? We like to see those sorts of stories. Yeah,
I've been impressed with him today. He's looked electric, full of energy.
Crossed in to the front post. That come off Jensen last. I think it might have, and it does, and it'll be another corner.
Yeah, look, that'd be a great story coming out of the Northern New South Wales competition. But yeah, like I said, he's been impressive today. He's been electric, and he's trying to get on the ball. Very positive.
Very busy. Two hands in the air from the corner. Lofted in, looking at the back post. Punched away. Not completely dealt with by Volkeen, but a penalty pointed to Reed. Didn't take a lot of contact, but he got some, and he went to ground, and the referee pointed to the spot. Immediately you see Liam Ryan, 2 hands on his head, and now it's going to be an opportunity, and it'll be the captain taking it. It will be. Kent Harrison steps up to the mark.
Well, here we go. Will this be the turning point for New Lambton at home here? And no doubt from the referee, pointed straight to the spot. Liam Ryan, hands on the head immediately as well.
Well, that's one thing you have to say about the referee. We talked about it before, consistent, but he's been clear and quick with his decisions, which suggested confidence. And yeah, he was right there. He was right on the spot, pointed straight to the penalty spot. And now Kent Harrison, a former Olympic junior and the Jets Academy player, steps up here. One-on-one with Brodie Volkeen. Kent Harrison steps in, hits it to the right, beats a diving Volkeen. He goes the wrong way, and all of a sudden we're back on level pegging. Harrison gets his 3rd of the year, and it's New Lambton Golden Eagles 1, Valentine Phoenix 1. Nice and composed. It's easy to get a bit edgy and nervy. Just put it into his spot. Volkeen read it wrong, and was never really a chance. It was a well-taken penalty.
Well, yeah, it was a confident penalty from Ken, and someone needed to step up, and who else but the captain, right? And he's put his side back into the mixer. It's going to be an exciting game now. Let's see how this unfolds, because Valentine had some awesome chances starting out this second half, but this game just continues to take Sways and turns. You'd probably say a result of consistent pressure as well. A couple of corners there, and they're just putting themselves in the right area. A little bit lazy from Liam Ryan, giving away the penalty. He wasn't really threatening at goal, Chris.
No, he wasn't. He was just he was almost, he was going away, and he's right on the edge of the 18-yard box. It felt like body position might have been enough. But again, hindsight, when you're down there in the heat of the moment, we know that Reed's been a constant threat, and he's been a constant, probably, nuisance for Ryan. So a little chance to get a little nudge back. He just gave it away in the wrong spot. A couple of metres further to the outside, and it would have just been a foul in a dangerous spot as opposed to a penalty. This is some nice work here, though, trying to make it back. All of a sudden, it spills dangerously for Jensen. Hollett can't control it. He's going away. Tried to backheel it. He caught himself up, though. Pettit now. Can he take a shot off the right? He curls it in dangerously. Just over the crossbar and away to the right in the end. But that was a nice finish, slightly off balance from outside the box.
Yeah, really good shape from Pettit and positive play from Valentine. A little bit loose at the back there from Jag. I think the ball just bobbled just over his foot as he tried to get contact with it. A little bit fortunate for Valentine, but nonetheless a good opportunity.
Now they loft it forward looking for Harrison. He tries to get the jump on the goal scorer in Miarchik. He gets the two goal scorers coming together there. They come body to body. Harrison kind of looks up, half appealing to the assistant referee, but they're having none of that. It's a throw in. He's back to his feet, which is a good sign. It's a bit interesting here. We saw New Lambton sort of give up the ascendancy, or Valentine took it at the end of that first half, which again probably is attributed to the amount of football New Lambton have played in the last week versus Valentine, that 8-day break. Can they continue that? Valentine also the benefit, probably, no disrespect to the players on the New Lambton bench, probably a deeper bench as well in terms of experience, especially when you've got that name we talked about before in Scott Pettit sitting there. So that's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I feel New Lambton really need to double down here over the next little bit and take that advantage while they've got the momentum.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I think the depth lies in Valentine's bench. You've got a little bit more experience there, and you obviously have some fresher players as well, just with that 8-day turnaround. So it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches tackle this kind of next period.
All dangerously into the box, not quite cleared cleanly by Miarchik. A header forward from Miners. Giles Harrison puts it forward again. Exchanging passes in midfield, both sides. Now Pettit lofts it wide to the right. Looking for Ross, but Ryan, but Reed's there. Falls all the way back to Esquilan, who plays it out now. Giles Harrison. Now forward, Cale Graham just taking his time coming back and plays it into the back of Holler. Assistant referee signals it. Throw in deep in attacking territory for the Golden Eagles. Now Verhoeven manages to slice it out between a couple, puts it forward. Howard, I thought he might have wound up for a shot there. They pushed it across the face of goal now, but it's just pushed out by Lane. They do well to get the clearance. Ryan now takes it away. He decides to travel with the ball. Prods it down the line. Looking for Jensen, but O'Connor travels forward instead, beats a couple of defenders and keeps moving. Lays it infield, McClymont. Out wide now. Donahoe. They just can't find that avenue or opening presenting for them, New Lambton, so they recycle it back through the defensive unit. Reed's going to take it on. Brandis all the way back again. O'Connor, he's been busy today. Feeds it forward to Reed. I'm not sure what that challenge was from Ross. He just threw himself on the ground. Reed feeds it into the box. Harrison takes a shot. Well blocked. Cale Graham gets himself into good body position. And it fires out across the sideline. It'll be a throw in for New Lambton. New Lambton really starting to look composed. When things aren't opening up and presenting for them, they're happy to recycle it back through the defensive unit to find the next attack. Yeah,
you're right, Chris. They're starting to tighten the screws a little bit, and it's probably the best passage I've seen of New Lambton with the ball this half thus far. Maybe even the first half as well. They're starting to move it and play through the lines of Valentine. Just trying to break down that solid line of 2 fours, Valentine, as they break away right now through Ryan.
So Reed had to be careful there. He nearly gave away a foul as he rode the back of Ryan. That would have been a little bit of ironic or karmic return.
Again, you'd like to think, or you'd like to say New Lambton have got a bit of momentum at the moment after that goal that they've just scored, and they're starting to move the ball around a lot more comfortably. Starting to play through the lines at the moment. again, we're seeing a shift in the game. Brilliant ball.
Beautiful ball out in front of Verhoeven. He's got some nice touch, gets the outside of Winiarczyk, crosses it in danger, and headed in. Ken Harrison gets a double. And all the credit for that goal goes to the lead-up balls, the one coming to Verhoeven, the one from Verhoeven, but Kent Harrison's name is the one that goes on the score sheet for a double, his 4th of the season.
Yeah, brilliant football from the home side, and Verhoeven just flexing his muscles there. Brilliant ball on his right foot. And I've been waiting for that final pass from one of the new Lambton players to hit the mark. And he did exactly that, just beat his man down the right flank and put a wicked ball in to find the head of Ken Harrison. And that's 2-1 to the home side. Great play from New Lambton.
And for the first time this season, deep in a game, New Lambton sit in a position where they've got hold of this game. We talked about it just before. They needed to use the momentum. They've done just that. I gave all the credit to Verhoeven there for snatching the lead, but that was a beautiful run. He timed it perfectly, the captain in Kent Harrison, using all his experience just to come in. He didn't overpower the header, didn't try and overcook it, just placed it nicely. That was a wonderful team goal.
Yeah, no, that was beautiful on the eyes. And, yeah, credit to Tommy O'Connor as well with that ball out to Verhoeven. Just wicked ball out to the right side. And they hit him fast, and Valentine now find themselves 2 goals down to 1. How do they respond? Again, are they going to lean on boys off the bench?
It'll be interesting to see what comes now. Winiarczyk sees it across the line. And they work it back. Valley Brandis on the ball. Lays it back to that man that started it all before for the second goal, O'Connor. He's happy to take it on. I like how he plays it forward confidently. And again, he goes to that man, Verhoeven. He's got beautiful touch, but he gets it, just to say that the commentator's curse, he has his pocket pick. Winiarczyk, the goal scorer for Valentine, racing away down the side of Verhoeven with great pace to come back at him and niggle away from the inside. Takes the ball back away. Got the ball. Valentine appeal for a foul. The crowd let them know what they think. And here's the goal scorer, Ken Harrison. He's got a double. He'd love a third. Can he turn provider? A little bit of a misstep there. Graham working to shut it down. He lofts it up towards the back post. And the sniper has taken out Cameron Howard. He just lost his footing there and slid out from under, and that could have developed into something promising.
Yeah, that was a good play from both clubs there, to be honest. Verhoeven working hard to resurrect his error up front, just tripping over the ball, making sure he won it back, going deep into his own half. A good release from Jag to send the goal scorer up the line, and they're looking threatening, New Lambton, especially in the front third now.
I think we've actually had a change at that second goal as well. It looks like Ryan's come off, and is that Cooper Fitchett in 27? Coming on for his second game of the season. Sometimes easy to miss when you focus on a penalty being taken. They made the change quickly, and I saw a player sort of walking over, wiping some sweat away as we have a little bit of concern here for Verhoeven going down in back play. That's a bit of a concern if you're New Lambton, because he's been one of their best, probably alongside O'Connor and Reid, I'd say. Hopefully it's just a bit of a knock on the knee. The physio will come out and have a look at him, and again, unsurprisingly, the New Lambton players swarm to grab some water. It's been a busy week for the Golden Eagles, and they'll be daring to dream at the moment. Still a long way to go in this game. Just under 20 minutes to play, but they lead 2-1. And Shane Price, winning not unusual for Shane Price. He's done plenty of that in the NPL here in northern New South Wales, but this would be as sweet as any of those, I'd suggest, if they get the win here on home turf and just start to claw that gap back to those teams above them on the ladder.
Yeah, no doubt. You would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at the halftime chat, because he's obviously revved up the home side, and they've come out roaring in this second half, looking the better of the two, and of course scoring 2 goals after being down 1-0 at half-time. Both sides just got an opportunity to get some water and have rest at the moment, as got a player down getting looked at.
And they'll all be sucking it in and taking the opportunity while they can, as much as the clouds have come over. That first half was played in quite warm conditions. It was the temperature gauge said 25, but the sun had some real bite in it today. As we said, of course, you can tune into all of the other first and reserve grade NPL Northern New South Wales games, men's and women's, throughout the season on Northern New South Wales YouTube channel. You can stay tuned with us throughout the season and the games to come. Really starting to heat up as we get to the business midpoint of the season, if you will. Almost a third of the season gone, into round 8 of 22 now in the men's. Both competitions well and truly heating up. Plenty of football to come, but we're back underway here at Alder Park. As I talked about those clouds coming over, Matt, they've disappeared on us altogether, and we're engrossed in blazing sunshine again. Winiarczyk down the line. Pettit. Dean Pettit, that is, busy on the ball. He's had a couple of opportunities. Crosses this one, looking for Jensen. Just a little overcooked. Reed again there, the man on the spot. Fitchett, a nice ball in. Jensen will get a shot away over the crossbar. Never really threatened, but it was another good half chance on the turn this time for Jensen, looking for his 4th of the season. Yeah,
look, I think Jensen will pose a threat if he gets those half chances, and yeah, look, wasn't anything clear and obvious, but it was a bit of a snapshot there, and I think that's where they have to tighten the screws a little bit near Lambton on the edge of the box, because they do have players, Valentine, that can find the back of the net from range.
So indeed, they've got some impressive strikes in them. Jensen probably the most notable, as we see Miners racing forward, putting the pressure on.
No one warming up for Valentine at the moment. I wonder when Cass will look to play anyone off the bench.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like at some point. It was an interesting strike from Harrison, just slicing, ranging across. It ended up a lot closer to the goals than it looked like coming off the boot. But again, Brody Volkeen very watchful of it.
Well, yeah, Ken full of confidence, and he struck it well. Again, not threatening, but he has that in his locker.
Dustin, no harm in chancing your hand at this point. We've talked about it. I want to continue to seize the momentum if they get to, as Ben Kenarowski over the last 5 weeks has like to remind us, the most dangerous lead in football. I'm sure they'd be happy to have that at the moment, the 2-goal lead. Little clip there on Verhoeven, and the referee again happy to play advantage. Doesn't need anything more than a foul there. It was just a little nudge from Jordan Goot. And play back. Giles Harrison sends it wide to O'Connor. O'Connor driving it forward, but misdirected with the wind behind it. They'll throw into Valentine inside their defensive half. Now the throw beats a leaping Jensen. Back for Lane. Akita. Another man who knows his way to goal. He has 3 goals on the season. Play it forward. This is a nice ball out in front. All of a sudden, Jensen takes a shot. Pushes it wide. Decided to have a go with his first touch. You just feel with he got in the jump on the defender. Maybe a settler and taking it to the top of the 18-yard box might have been wise, but hindsight's a wonderful thing.
No, I agree. I mean, he looks dangerous in open space. He's obviously got that long stride, and he can get on the end of a ball. And it was a nice little 1-2 play there, just to release Jensen up front. Maybe the touch in front of the defender, you could force a bit of contact, perhaps, in the box. Maybe was a better option, but he backed himself, and I like it.
Certainly did. It wasn't too far away, but not quite on target. Now Pettit with a little tap on. Ross with an optimistic chance at a little chipped over back heel. I'm not sure what sort of percentage level that play was, but in the meantime they maintain possession. As soon as I say that, they turn it over. McClymont forward for Harrison. He's got a brace. He'd love a third. Now they play it forward again nicely for Verhoeven, this time from Brandis. What can he conjure this time? A little step over, comes around, thinks about a shot, pulls it back, beats one. And he's making Josh Winiarczyk have nightmares there on the left of Valentine defence. Verhoeven again takes some contact from behind from Graham, but the referee says he got boot to ball first. And Valentine just cleared it away over the line. Josh Winiarczyk looking out on his feet at the moment. I think he might be one of the ones that they look to substitute. New Lambton having a chat with the 4th official, so we may see some changes coming soon from their side. We've also got someone warming up for Valentine, so I think we'll have some action here imminently.
Yeah, heading into that final period of the game now, and tactically very important from both coaches to try and bring some players on. I'll let this play out.
Lofted forward for Jensen. Can he beat the keeper? All of a sudden, Escalante off his line. They take a shot. Reed is back there, gets a head in front of it. He's done well. I tell you what, he had a blinder in the first half. He's been a little quiet in the second, but he stepped up when it counted there. Caleb Reed, take your hat off, take a bow. That's kept them in front here. Now Donohoe. I haven't seen much ball down that left of New Lambton's attack in the second half. Reed comes back. And Connor threads it through. That combination for Verhoeven. Holler, Brandis. Harrison trying to present at the front on the right. That's where Verhoeven goes. Harrison, he's got McClimb on in the box. He almost loses control. It does well just to keep it inside the byline, but can't get it. No, the referee says he didn't keep it inside the byline, and we'll go back for a goal kick. And now we're going to have some changes, a double change coming for New Lambton. And it will be Donahoe and Howard coming off. And we'll get some confirmation of the replacement players momentarily for you. The fourth official not running aboard today, which makes it challenging from the other side. In the meantime, Pettit on the attack here for Valentine. A little bit of work and nice work, Giles Harrison, nice and composed defensively.
You feel as though this game's got another twist in the tail, right, Chris?
I feel we've got time for maybe one or two more. We'll wait and see. New Lambton fans won't like us saying that. Pettit here at the corner, lofts it up. A little deeper. Verhoeven sees it away for the time being to the top of the 18-yard box. Driven in from Fitchett, looking for an optimistic shot. Pushes it wide off his thigh. Now Pettit crosses it back into the box. Brandis awkwardly clears it. He got an awkward bounce. Now waiting to see Tapgura, the former Lake Macquarie City Rooster, racing down the sideline. Ball takes a deflection off Kyle Graham, and he's had an immediate impact as Gura.
Yeah, really positive from Gura. Positive impact off the bench. Coaching staff will be happy with that one. He's earned his team a throw-in in good field position.
Another change coming on was Hugh Brown for the Golden Eagles. Gura now, good control of the ball. Nice little back heel wide for Reid, and he's taking a clip. And there's going to be a foul this time just outside the box. I'm going to say that would have been a long-paying suggestion, a very low percentage of your left fullback drawing two fouls inside the edge of the box and getting penalties. That would have been something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good positioning from the young lad, though. He's put himself in good areas, and yeah, it's a credit to him. Again, he's won himself and his side a free kick in dangerous territory. It's a dangerous area.
It is.
And it's that man on the ball as well.
Verhoeven. It'll be interesting to see Brandis v Jensen here. There's plenty of height, both well over 6 foot. And towering over the rest in the box. They push themselves to the back post, and Brandis just trying to get a little bit of a gap on him and trying to get a better, more favourable matchup, but it's played into the body of Lane. Now Verhoeven, again, this time into the boots of Lane, and Lane will clear it away down the sideline. And he doesn't, he goes inboard. Ross gives it off, Goo. Has it taken away, but will get the throw. Just over 8 minutes remain of regulation time, and then we'll be on the referee's whistle. This one very much in the balance. The Golden Eagles looking for their first win of the season. Valentine chasing their second. Both know how crucial points are at this time of the season. Goo, deep in attack. Pulls it back once, pulls it back a second time. Jensen trying to get there. Hole it, does well to win it out. Nice composure from Harrison there. He could have panicked, but he brought it to his own boots. Not completely cleared. Now it falls back to Reid. Fitchett putting pressure on him. Reid sends it long. Kent Harrison racing forward. He's outnumbered here, but he'll try and conjure something, looking for a hat-trick. Gets inside the box, going to get a shot away. Oh, he finds a crossbar! Millimetres away from a hat-trick was Kent Harrison. The woodwork's been cruel today. Valentine might think it's been reasonably kind to them and set up their first goal, but it's been cruel a number of times for both sides.
Yeah, no, it has. And the captain's looking very solid and confident as well. 2 goals to his name already, and yeah, he was outnumbered there, like you said, Chris, but decided to elect to take it on with his left foot. Just struck the frame with conviction.
And it looks like Verhoeven might have making way. That knee complaint just a little too much to risk for New Lambton at this point, and Reinhard Lloyd will come on in the 10 jersey here. I'll tell you what, you don't judge a book by its cover, but if that hairdo doesn't have goals written all over it, Reinhard Lloyd, I don't know what does.
Oh, yeah. No, he looks dangerous.
All of a sudden, Valentine now, almost. Ross thought he had a sniff there.
again, no change made from Valentine. A couple of boys warming up at the moment.
Yeah, at what point do they do it? That's the thing. I mean, they're looking like half chances here. They've pushed. Interesting, Jensen's come wide now, and Dean Pettit's gone to the centre of attack for them. This one's spilling wide for Gura, but the offside flag goes up. I'll tell you what, if you see Tap Gura come on and you haven't seen him play before, you're not picking that he's going to be playing up front or on a wing, are you? Like, he looks like a stocky-bodied defender.
Yeah, I
or
agree.
Or a defensive mid, but geez, he's got to turn a pace, and he did a job at Lake Macquarie last year, and with their relegation has taken the opportunity to come here to New Lambton.
Yeah, he's definitely got ticker, and we saw his impact immediately off the bench. He wants to play football, make sure he's knocking on the door for that starting lineup.
Certainly is. And who's no danger of losing his place there is Reid. He's been outstanding today. Hollert's been good. He was quiet in the first half, but he's had much more work to do in the second. Lloyd tracking back, trying to shut down the avenues here. Winiarchik gets it, looking for Jensen, but Reinhard Lloyd breaks it up. Winiarchik with the throw. Just on 5 minutes to go in regulation time here. It's coming down to the wire. Gu tries to thread a ball through the heart of the New Lambton defence. Brown pushes it forward. Gura now taking his time, composed, over the ball. Sends it back to the other substitute in Brown. Hugh Brown, that is. Ranging ball forward, looking for Ken Harrison. He's going to get to the keeper, is he? No. Well read by Valentine. He's out off his line.
The New Lambton staff up on their feet, vocal, and I have no doubt they're giving instructions to the players, telling them how important it is to stay focused in these last 5 minutes. Conceding that goal late in the first half, you don't want to lapse in concentration.
No, you don't. It'd be a heartbreak if they did to go down from here or to drop points. They know how close they are to a potential first 3 points of the season, and what a week it'll be for them if they manage to not only claim their first points, but to take 4 points in essentially 4 days. A shot from range, pushed wide though. He's not happy with himself, Campbell Ross. He knows that was another half opportunity, and they know as time ticks away, they're going to be the chances they'll reflect on here. Yeah, they talk about 6-point games, those games where so much can ebb and flow, and at half-time this was 3 points for Valentine's taking. New Lambton have come out like a bull at a gate, got out to a roaring start. They doubled down on that with that second goal, which was absolutely magnificent after the penalty. As Esquilant just takes his time here. And they know this one's in their control, but football's such a funny game. It'll be interesting to see how much added time we'll have as well. We've had a couple of stoppages. But this is here for New Lambton, and this could really revitalise and spark their season. Gura, you need to play the referee's whistle, son. That's not going to help you. All of a sudden, Ross now working some magic, trying to weave it through. Broken up by Harrison, doesn't completely clear it. Gu threads it forward. Ross, can they nab one back here and put us back on level, pegging Valentine? Miners thinks about slicing wide, threads it forward. Broken up by O'Connor. He's been Mr. Consistent at the back for the men in navy blue. O'Connor keeps working it down there. Gu is involved with Miners to take it away from him. Fitchett pushes it wide. Ross, little 1-2. Fitchett down the right line. Can't control it. It goes away after the deflection. It'll be a corner. Here's the chance they're looking for. Akita's been dangerous from the set piece. Can Pettit find him? Pettit in a hurry. Akita taking his time coming up. Cal Graham, a physical presence. Jensen with plenty of height. They loft it in. They're looking for Jensen. They find him at the back post. That looked like a handball on the line. Jagger Holland will be red carded here. He knows he's already walking. And Holert is sent. He's taken that off the line. Jensen's trying to argue here that it should be a goal, but the referee can't award it if it hasn't gone in. But they will have a penalty to level things up, and they'll be with 10 men in opposition. That was a bit of a brain fade from Holert there, but desperate times.
Yeah, wow. How quickly does it turn, Chris? And it was a great header at the back stick there. They found the big man, number 19, and Jensen again wanting his own goal, right? Fourth.
Dean Pettit lines up the penalty, changes on the horizon for Valentine as well. Sam Esquilant could put himself into New Lambton record books, and that'd be an iconic figure on the season for them if he could manage to save this. Pettit lines it up. Which way will he go? He goes to the left and he beats a diving Esquilade by inches. And all of a sudden we're back on level pegging. It's 2-2. Both sides a penalty, both sides a goal from open play. And interestingly enough, both Dean Pettit and Valley Brandis were racing to get that ball to get it back to halfway. Neither of these sides are done yet.
No, and there was the twist that I was talking about 10 minutes ago. Is there another one in this game? And if you go back a couple of plays there, I think Tom O'Connor just got caught on the ball on that left side. 2 passes down the track, they win that corner, and you see that low driven with the backspin cross coming in that they've done all day, Valentine. This time they found their man Jensen. There was no other way to deny that than put the hand out.
Captain in Harry Lane's gone from the field for Valentine. The free kick goes against Gura. He's got to be careful here rolling that ball away. Just trying to get a jersey number on the player that's come on. And wait for his back to us again. Running without the 4th official with the board not operating today. Okay. Knock on the door of stoppage time here. Dean Pettit continues on. Does well to keep it just inside the sideline. Cuts inside Reinhard Lloyd. Valley Brandis almost gets in on Fitchett, but Fitchett takes it away. Jordan Goo now threads it through unthreateningly in the end, and it'll trickle away across the byline. Time ticks down. We hit the 90-minute mark. And this one well and truly in the balance. New Lambton looked all but certain to claim the 3 points before a moment of madness. I mean, you can't help but feel for Jagger Holder. I think the only difference of him putting his hand on that ball is he's red carded, because that ball's going in the back of the net if he didn't. A good physical challenge from Harrison. No, the referee's not happy with that one. Josh Winiarchik down. He's cramping. We're into stoppage time now. We're at the referee's discretion. How long will this continue on? You feel, Matt, on the balance of everything, that a point each could be fair, although I'm sure both coaches and both playing squads would argue they deserve the 3.
Yeah, I agree. There's been chances of plenty for both sides, and I think both teams, if it does finish 2-2 today, are going to reflect on this game and see the opportunities that they probably didn't take.
Certainly will. Both have had plenty, and they could have converted better. Both have been denied at times by the woodworkers. Cal Graham now cramping. Ball lofted into the box. Campbell Ross with a chance. Reed. Caleb Reed does well. Lays it off for Hugh Brown. Hugh Brown looking for Kent Harrison. What a story that would be if the captain could grab a 3rd. Tapgura advancing forward for him. They cross that ball. I'm not sure who he was looking for there, but all of a sudden now Valentine go the other way. Jensen looked a good step offside there, but New Lambton deal with it in the meantime. There's probably been some generosity at times with the offside law in terms of the game. Now it's hit and hope from Valentine. O'Connor tracking back. It's been one of the best for mine for the Golden Eagles in this game. Cleared as far as midfield, and it sits up nicely. Dean Pettit cuts inside Valley Brandis. Pettit looking for a teammate. Who can he pick off? He's going to go himself. Hugh Brown takes it from him. Brandis sees it off for McClymont. Could it be the birthday boy that conjures the winner here? Tapgura wears a couple of clips. Probably oversold the second one, but definitely got contact either way. There's some theatrics, there's some animation. Everyone's wearing their hearts on their sleeves, Matt Butner.
Yeah, this is an important finish to the game for both clubs. Obviously, very animated, everyone, players and coaching staff. Plenty of chatter going on, and it's going to be interesting to see how long's left for today's game.
Just trying to identify who this player is that's come on in jersey 36, and we don't actually have him on the squad list. Valentine here with a chance. All of a sudden, Pettit, can he get the winner? He sprays it wide. Jensen puts it into the back of the net. And a hard break for New Lambton as Valentine grabbed 2 late goals to take the lead. Toby Jensen gets his 4th of the season, and that was something from nothing. And you can see the heartbreak on the New Lambton players' faces because they know there is so little time remaining. And Matt Butner, you've got to feel for this New Lambton defence and the New Lambton team in general. They're out on their feet. They're exhausted in this heat. It's been a big week for them. In a matter of minutes, they've gone from 2-1 up to 3-2 down.
Yeah, and what a twist of tails this game has had everything. And Valentine snatched it at the death. Who knows, there still could be another twist. But geez, we're getting late into this game. Cass would be pleased with that last 5 minutes from her side.
I'll say there might be a couple of twists in the tail. I'm not ruling out one more.
No, definitely not.
The referee gets us back underway here. What can we do? They just go immediately on the attack. Hugh Brown racing forward, headed clear for the time being. Riley Brandis heads it the wrong way. Now Harrison drops it back. Lloyd again to Ken Harrison. Varley Brandis pushing forward, as is Reed. Jensen, I'm not sure that's where he wanted to head it. Cleared long and over the sideline.
Well, Jensen finally gets his goal, and Pettit's been a live wire for Valentine all day today, so big ups to him with that assist, just knocking it back in. Can New Lambton snag one at the death?
I feel like a point here. It'd be nice to see them walk away with. They've toiled hard here. Reed lofts this into the box. There's all the time in the world here. Dean Pettit has been one of the best, and he gets the final touch here, and a number of the Eagles players throw themselves to ground in disappointment and frustration. But the Phoenix rise from the ashes. A powerful statement from Valentine in the end this afternoon, and a big moment for Cass Wright. The Phoenix bounce back from a tough stretch, and they'll leave Alder Park with 3 points. There's still plenty of work ahead, but that's the kind of performance that can certainly spark some momentum for their season and some belief in their group. And Matt, what impressed you most about the way Valentine hung in there and took away the 3 points here today?
Yeah, look, the response when they were down 2-1 was brilliant. And to find that little energy at the end, at the death, the last 10 minutes, to score 2 goals out of nothing. Their impact subs were good. Jensen was good off the bench. And yeah, that's the momentum that they need to carry on. They needed that after 2 big deficits in the last 2 weeks. Congratulations to Cass and Valentine. And a really disappointing finish for New Lambton. You have to feel for them, Chris.
You do. Until the results of the other games this afternoon, it will temporarily lift them up to 8th place on the ladder. So we'll wait and see. Speaking of feeling for teams, New Lambton, there's still got to be some positives if you're Shane Price. The fact that, again, they've had the workload, they've had the 3 games, they took a point midweek. They had 3 points there for the taking. They were still in it until late. It's just probably a bit of maturity and just closing out of games.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. And they probably had that 25, 30-minute window in the middle of that second half where they were in cruise control and knocking on the door for a third. And it could have quite easily went 3-1. They hit the frame twice and were probably unfortunate in that matter to extend their lead. But credit to Valentine for sticking in and putting in a gutsy performance in that final 15 minutes to crawl themselves back into the game and ultimately get 3 points.
Well, it was Josh Winiarczyk that scored the only goal of the opening half. Then it was a double to Kent Harrison, saw New Lambton lead 2-1. Dean Pettit got a penalty from the spot. Then Toby Jensen, the sealer. The Phoenix, they rise again. Valentine 3 over New Lambton 2 with a result that breathes fresh life into the campaign for Valentine FC. From Matt Buettner and myself, Chris McPherson, thank you for your company. We look forward to joining you again throughout the NPL season. This has been your Northern New South Wales NPL Match the Round, and we'll see you next week.
You knew that was going to twist, eh? You called it before the game, 3-2.